Hello everyone and welcome back to Railways Explained. Today we're exploring what might just be the shortest railway line in the world, the Vatican Railway, also known as the Holy See Railway. This unique little network consists of just two short stretches of track, each about 300 meters long, along with two freight sidings, adding up to a total length of roughly 1.3 kilometers. The entire system includes only one station, Vatican City Station, which connects to Rome's San Pietro station via a short viaduct, linking the Vatican directly to the rest of the Italian railway network. Pope Pius XI once called this railway and its station the most beautiful in the world, perhaps because of its picturesque setting at the foot of the Vatican Gardens, with a magnificent view of Michelangelo's dome on the other side. But before we dive deeper into its location and beauty, let's start from the very beginning. Before that, though, a quick reminder: your support on Patreon or by purchasing our ebook is absolutely vital for keeping Railways Explained running and for helping us release videos regularly. YouTube doesn't exactly reward niche topics like ours, so we truly appreciate every patron and every person who's bought the book. Thank you all so much. Now, back to the story. Construction of the Vatican Railway began in 1929, shortly after the signing of the Lateran Treaty, an agreement between Pope Pius XI and the Italian government that formally recognized the Vatican as an independent state. The railway, along with Vatican City Station, was one of the direct outcomes of this treaty. As part of the agreement, the Pope requested the building of a railway station to make it easier to transport both people and goods, but also as a symbol of sovereignty and independence. The construction, completed in 1934, cost around 24 million lire, or just over $1 million at the time, a sum entirely covered by the government of Benito Mussolini. Construction of the Vatican Railway officially began on April 3, 1929, under the supervision of the Directorate of New Railway Construction of the Ministry of Public Works of the Kingdom of Italy. The goal was to build the necessary earthworks at an elevation of 38 meters above sea level, the same height as the Roma San Pietro station, in the area between Piazza Santa Marta and the Governor's Palace inside the Vatican. Because of the significant difference in elevation between the Vatican and the surrounding area, a viaduct had to be constructed high above Via Gregorio VII, which remains one of the most distinctive features of this tiny railway. The Vatican City Station was officially inaugurated on October 2, 1934, but trains had already crossed the Italian-Vatican border earlier. The first test locomotive did so in 1932. A railway convention between Italy and Vatican City was ratified on September 12, 1934, transferring ownership of the railway from Italian state railways to the Holy See. The following month, the Ministry of Public Works formally handed over the completed infrastructure to both the Vatican City and Italian state railways, and Italian railway law was declared applicable to lines under Vatican control. Interestingly, this wasn't the first time a pope had a railway of his own. The Rome-Frascati line, opened in 1856 under Pope Pius IX, was actually the first papal railway in history. However, the Papal States ceased to exist only 5 years later, and both the line and its territory were absorbed into the emerging Kingdom of Italy. Earlier popes were far less enthusiastic about the new technology. Pope Gregory XVI, for example, famously opposed railway construction within the Papal States, referring to them as roads of iron, roads of hell. His successor, Pope Pius IX, however, recognized the potential of rail travel and even initiated the construction of a Bologna-Ancona line. Unfortunately, this project was cut short in 1860, when the territory was seized by the armies of the Kingdom of Sardinia. Over time, however, attitudes began to change. The growing popularity of mass pilgrimages in the 19th century, such as those to Lourdes beginning around 1858, demonstrated the practical benefits of rail travel, gradually softening resistance within the Roman Curia. Pius IX himself became a strong advocate for railways. His official papal train, hauled by a Planet-type steam locomotive, made its first journey on July 3, 1859, from Porta Maggiore station to Cecina. The train consisted of 3 specially designed carriages, a balconata carriage for papal blessings, a throne room with a private apartment for the Pope, and a chapel carriage. These were richly decorated in papal colors, gold and silver, and even adorned with images of the Pope blessing modern infrastructure. The Vatican Railway, the subject of today's story, branches off from the Rome-Viterbo line at Roma San Pietro station. From there, it crosses the Gelsomino Valley via a 143-meter-long masonry viaduct, composed of 8 arches, each spanning 15.3 meters. The viaduct passes over Viale Vaticano, which it effectively interrupts, as well as Via Aurelia, creating one of the most distinctive approaches to any railway station in the world. The short single-track section leading up to the Vatican border was later equipped with overhead electrification. The first 100 meters of the line are permanently powered with 3000 volts DC, while the remaining stretch is only energized when required, a practical measure for such limited operations. Within the Vatican territory, the railway has 2 tracks, partially extending beyond the border into Rome. However, only one track is served by a station platform. On the northwest side of the station building are 2 dead end loading sidings for freight wagons, connected to the main line, which itself terminates in a head shunt tunnel running straight beneath the hillside. Before reaching the station, the railway passes through a 17-meter wide archway in the Vatican City walls. This imposing entrance is adorned with the coat of arms of Pope Pius XI and fitted with a 2-piece 35.5-ton iron gate that slides into recesses within the wall to allow trains to pass. The gate takes nearly a full minute to retract and is kept closed whenever there's no train movement. Flanked by 2 great Sphinx statues, this monumental archway marks the official border crossing between Italy and Vatican City, a truly symbolic gateway for such a tiny nation. Just 20 meters beyond this gate stands the Vatican City railway station itself, an elegant white travertine structure designed to welcome popes and distinguished guests. Nestled near the Vatican Gardens behind St. Peter's Basilica, and close to the Governor's Palace and the Domus Sanctae Martae, the station sits at the very heart of the world's smallest country. Like many buildings in Vatican City, the station is a blend of grandeur and architectural mastery. It was designed by Giuseppe Momo, the acclaimed Italian architect, also responsible for the famous spiral staircase in the Vatican museums. His design gives the station a subtle Renaissance elegance, with long straight platforms and a richly detailed facade that reflects the prestige and symbolism of the Holy See. Construction of the station began on April 3, 1929, and operations commenced in 1933. Today, part of the building still serves as a passenger and freight office, while another section has been repurposed to house the Vatican's Numismatic and Philatelic Museum, preserving the history of both its coins and its railway heritage. The Vatican Railway Station also bears a poignant scar from the turbulent years of World War II, marking one of the few times the peace of Vatican City was disturbed. In late March 1944, during the Allied bombing of Rome, a German munitions train was discovered, parked on the tracks near the Vatican City station. When the area was struck, the station building was damaged, making it the only structure within Vatican City to suffer harm during the entire war. Although the damage has long since been repaired, a small portion of the impact has been deliberately preserved on one corner of the building. This visible remnant stands today as a somber reminder of the station's and the world's endurance through those dark times. From a practical perspective, the Vatican Railway has always seen limited traffic. Since its opening in 1934, it has primarily been used for freight, especially for importing coal to heat Vatican buildings. While occasional freight trains still enter today, such movements were far more frequent in the past, before road transport became cheaper and more efficient. In recent years, however, the railway has found a new purpose. Since September 2015, a specially chartered passenger service has been operating every Saturday, offering a round-trip journey to Castel Gandolfo, the papal summer residence, about 21 kilometers away. This service is part of the Vatican Full Day by Train experience, a collaboration between the Vatican museums and the Italian railways. Visitors begin their journey from the historic Vatican City station, traveling aboard a special electric train to the pontifical villas in Castel Gandolfo, making it one of the most unique tourist train experiences in the world. Although the station was completed in 1933, it wasn't until October 4, 1962, that a pope actually used the railway for the first time. Pope John XXIII boarded the Italian presidential train from Vatican City on a pilgrimage to Loreto and Assisi just 1 week before the opening of the Second Vatican Council. The historic event was broadcast across Europe via the Eurovision network, marking the Vatican Railway's first and perhaps most symbolic moment in the international spotlight. Before Pope John XXIII's historic trip in 1962, the last pope to both visit Loreto as head of the Papal States and to travel by train had been Pope Pius IX over a century earlier. Interestingly, John XXIII also used the Vatican Railway to transport the relics of Pope Pius X to Venice, underlining the railway's ceremonial and spiritual importance. Pope John Paul II made use of the railway on several occasions for symbolic events. First on November 8, 1979, and later on January 24, 2002, when he became the first pope since John XXIII to actually depart Rome by train. Pope Benedict XVI also embraced this historic line, using it for his pilgrimage to Assisi on October 27, 2011. Earlier that same year, on May 21st, a special commemorative train departed from Vatican City to mark the 60th anniversary of Caritas, the Catholic humanitarian organization. Pope Francis, too, has continued this legacy. In 2013, he took a brief journey aboard the Vatican train to the Basilica of St. Francis in Assisi as part of his ongoing efforts to promote public transportation and environmental sustainability. Throughout its nearly century-long history, the Vatican Railway has been the stage for several unique and symbolic journeys. On April 18, 2013, the Turin group of train friends arrived at Vatican City aboard two ALN 776 rail cars operated by SIA Train, performing a short maneuver into the tunnel before departing with 3 freight wagons. Then, on September 11, 2015, a historic F-Class 625 steam locomotive entered Vatican City, carrying invited members of the press on a journey to Castel Gandolfo, a rare and spectacular sight. That same year, inspired by Pope Francis's vision of opening the Church's treasures to the public, the weekly Vatican Full Day by Train service was launched. This special experience allows visitors to board a train within the Vatican and travel to the pontifical villas of Castel Gandolfo, combining history, faith, and the romance of rail travel into one unforgettable day. Though small in scale, the Vatican Railway stands as a powerful symbol of faith, sovereignty, and connection, linking the world's smallest state to the wider world for nearly a century. From its origins as a diplomatic expression of independence to hosting popes, transporting relics, surviving wartime, and now serving as a unique cultural attraction, this 1.3-kilometer line carries far more history than its modest length suggests. For us, it's another clear example that even the smallest railways can leave a lasting legacy, both in history and in the imagination. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more railway stories from around the world. To support the channel and gain access to exclusive extras, check out our Patreon page. You can also find our ebook packed with detailed railway insights. The link is in the description below. And if you're into railway-themed merch, we've got you covered there too. See you in the next video.